Howdy YouTube, a really cool figure review for you today, and that's because we're taking a look at the new Dragon Ball Super from the Dragon Stars series. We've got the God of Destruction, Beerus. This is an awesome looking figure, one I'm really keen to get opened up and out of packaging. I will be comparing the new Bandai Dragon Ball Super figures to the old school Jakks and also the even older Irwin Dragon Ball Z figures, so you guys can get a feel for what the new figures are like. Visually, this guy looks great. The packaging is fantastic. Love the black, sleek look. Looks very, very nice indeed. The detailing on Beerus looks great as well. Looks like there's some good articulation, so I can't wait to get him opened up and out of packaging. Taking a look at the back, other figures in the set is Super Saiyan Goku, which I want to get my hands on. There's also Vegeta. There is a Super Saiyan version of him as well. And then, of course, you have Beerus. I want to get my hands also on Frieza, and then coming out later this year, Hit and some of the other characters as well. Really enjoying the show. Initially, when it first came out, I was a little bit hesitant. I didn't like that they were recapping the movies. I thought that was very lazy, to be honest with you, but it is slightly different. The animation quality is still really good, and it is a good setup for obviously the rest of Dragon Ball Super. Beerus, of course, having a really prominent role and being a pretty significant character. So with that, let's get him opened up and out of packaging. Okay, and here we have Beerus opened up and out of packaging, and the good news is, if you are a long-time collector of Dragon Ball Z figures, this guy scales perfectly. Could not be happier. Some great articulation as well. I'll bring it forward so you guys can see and get a good look at the detailing on this guy. Bandai definitely did a really good job capturing the look of Beerus. It certainly looks like him. The articulation is a little bit funny. It's not what I expected, to be honest, and I will run through that, but the paint applications on this guy are really nice. And having got him opened up and had a bit of a feel around the different joints and things like that, this is definitely a series I would pick up the remaining figures and add to my existing DBZ collection. So articulation wise, he's got a ball jointed head, he's got ball jointed arms, he's got a double bend in the elbow, he's got ball jointed wrists, no waist articulation, or upper torso I should say. He does have a swivel in the waist. He's got weird leg articulation, so I hope you'll be able to see this on camera. It's a little bit like the DC collectibles figures, if you're familiar with those, where it's basically a peg and then it clips on. So you still get a full range of motion, but you get some sort of different poses. You can see the gap in there that you don't normally get with your standard action figure. He's got the same thing for the knees. And then, again, ball-jointed ankles. So a ton of great articulation. You can get him in some really good poses. And to be honest, the biggest thing that I'm really happy about is the scaling of him. You can see next to an old-school Irwin Broly, he is shorter, which makes sense because Broly is huge. Omega Shenron, he's also a lot smaller than the Jakks figures, which were typically bigger than the Irwin ones anyway. And I'll bring in some others just for comparison as well. So here is a really good comparison. You can see he scales perfectly with, say, the Jakks Cell and also some of the other figures. The re-released Jakks branded Irwin figures, such as the Goku and the Majin Vegeta, you can see are a little bit on the smaller side. I believe the new series of figures are similar in height to Beerus, which makes sense because in the show they're about even anyway. So I'm interested to get my hands on characters like Goku and Frieza and see how they stack up. But scale-wise, definitely you can pick these figures up and add them to your existing collection and they do not look out of place. And that for me is a big win. Great detailing, great articulation, great show. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this review on the Bandai Dragon Ball Z Super Beerus.